What's up, guys? We are looking at the Ford Halo for the Flux Defense Raider320. But we want to go over a few things right now. I got some notes here I'm probably going to read because I'm not good at this shit. All right, so we're going to have three versions. You've got a left side of slide, so think about it like the ripsticks. If it's on the left side, when you're aiming down, it's left side. Whoop. Left side, there's an opening, so left side opening. We have a right side opening, and we have a I think we call it full M-lock, where there is no opening for a ripstick, and you get an extra, technically 3 slots for the M-lock. And so later on in the video, we're showing you install, and we're showing you how that ripstick interfaces, and if it's something you're gonna want to choose between the three, keep watching. We also want to mention, if you've got a comp, we have a compensator blast diverter that we've designed up, mounts on the front of the rail, so you can see kind of those ports would go right up into there. So if you're running a glass on the front, you don't want that GSR just right on your glass. And so that's going to divert your compensation forward or away from the glass. So those are some options that we do. Also mention, shit, my notes turned off, guys. I gotta like unlock it again with my fingerprint. All right, so we got those three versions. So we are working on the folding ripstick and the folding plate charging. Those are just taking longer with the springs and trying to figure that stuff out. But we are a lot closer, and we are working on some fixed metal slide plate ones that'll work with pretty much anything. These hoods do not work with F10s. None of the slides will really work that great with the F10. If you have a compact slide, you have a little bit of room, you probably get your whole finger in there and you can rack that, but it's not ideal. Suppressor compatibility. So we will have a spreadsheet up on the website for suppressor compatibility. Right now it is focused on support is going to be 1.5 inches diameter and smaller. And again, it's not going to be all of them the way that the threads or the booster is designed, make them bigger, smaller. And so we're going to have that compatibility list up there. And that's only going to work with compact slides. They're going to be a little hit and miss with compact slides. With full-size slides, they should all work. Subcompact, not recommended for this. You're really going to be putting the compensation right here unless you've figured out a blast forward device that works and is skinny enough. There is options there. That is possible. This will work with our LoRa rail, so that if you really wanted to go wild and you got a can on it in the hood and your optic here, you can put that LoRa rail on there also and gain more advantages. So what are some of the key benefits of moving of that hood? And one of them, I think, is that moving that optic forward, your eye box, or the amount of space you're able to move your head and still see the red dot, it's amazing. That if you got nods, you've got room here. You're adding weight up front. Again, it's probably not a ton, depending on if you put a laser or light up here. You're adding weight up front, so that should help make the recoil more controllable. And then, yeah, just more mounting options. So if you don't want the light on the bottom, you want to side mount it and put pressure switches on there, you can, and have a full grip on the bottom. That's ideal too. And then also, one thing we didn't note, these 3 holes are threaded. We haven't really figured out any designs. Not figured out, we haven't designed anything for it yet, but it's kind of one of those future-proofing. Put a gas pedal maybe right there, using the screws there, the threads there. Since seam clapping this is with a light down here is a little hard, but it is possible. Let's try it here. Let's give it a switcheroony without dropping shit. All right, so like C clamping it. Oh shit, there's still a light on that one. The light's off, so C clamping it with no light, maybe you got a side mounted light, is definitely doable. Again, it feels a little bit close to my body, but that is the short brace. Yeah, so that would kind of be ideal. Maybe that 3 inch, 1.5 inch would be awesome. Yeah, and so those are kind of the points I wanted to touch on. This follow is going to be just install, and it'll help answer questions with how much of the ripstick is usable once you have it mounted, and other things like that. So guys, thanks for tuning in. Let's watch the install. All right guys, we're doing the install of the forward halo for the Raider320. We're gonna go through it here. We're gonna try to make this quick and dirty. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take our slide off first, of course, and we're gonna just get ready. We do have to move those back. It does not need to be back all the way. But we will be indexing off of the, let's call it the second. It's probably third from the front, second from the back hole. And we will be taking these pieces here. So let's just go through this real quick. We got side rails here. There's a left and a right. We have these, we're calling these threaded plates. We got our hardware and we got our hood. And there's 3 different versions. You got left side opening, right side opening, and then no openings, or I think I call it M-lock. It just has more M-lock over here. So we're gonna go and do this. This does have some markings because I just took it off. I've already installed this. But what we're gonna go ahead and do, the way to determine which side is which, wherever that nub is, it needs to be in the back or closer to the trigger. And so if you see the nub and you see this channel up top or this ledge up top, that is the top ledge, that is the back. So it would go in on the left side of the weapon. Frame, not a weapon. This is not a weapon, YouTube. This is not a gun. This is a chassis. All right, so we're not modifying any guns. This is just a chassis. So here we go. This piece will index off that there, and it'll just set in. This has been installed once, but it may need a tap from a mallet right here to get that to really seat in there. I mentioned possibly having to tap or mallet this part down. I want to give a little bit more attention to that. So if you notice a large gap right here from the frame to the side piece, then yes, you want to kind of strike it with a mallet right above that second from the back little spot, and just give that a tap to close up any gap that might be between the chassis and the side rail. So hard to kind of get the camera in at that angle, but you see those are kind of mating up. So at first it'll probably be about maybe a 1/16 of an inch away, maybe less. You just want to make sure that you tap that in so that you don't have these rails bowing outward. Another way to tell also is not going to be hard. It's going to be hard to get light in there, but the little nub that's in there underneath should sit flush with the frame also. All right, guys, let's move on. Boom. So when we have one side on, we can take any of this threaded plates, and if you think holes up top and then the smaller gap in the back, and those would line up. These are the same ones from Flux with their side rails. And then we're gonna go ahead and put in one of the shorter screws, and we're gonna Loctite it, of course. Again, I'm probably gonna end up making this video 3 times, so I'm not gonna apply Loctite, but we will put a little blue Loctite on this. And something I always recommend to people is install it dry. If it's a setup that you want to keep, go ahead and put Loctite on it and make it a permanent fixture. This is one that if you decide you want, you can do red Loctite on this one. This one doesn't need to come out to take the top off. The rest of them do. And so we'll get to that. So we're gonna go ahead and torque this down. I think I put torque settings to 25. All right, so torque that down to 25, and we have one of the side rails installed. Let's flip it over. Let's do the same thing. And if you do need to tap it with a hammer, go ahead and tap it with a hammer. Again, holes up top, small gap in the back. Throw in the Loctite on here and tighten that down to 25 inch-pounds. I'm trying to like rotate this so I can see it. 25 inch-pounds. And there we are. And so there is your base setup. You want to do that with the slide off. It's just easier getting in here without the slide on. The next step requires putting the accessory rail or the halo on. And so at this point, you do want to put your slide back on. Rotate your lever and throw that slide on. And you make sure to line this guy up. Always seems to be finicky on these later gen FCUs. Put your slide on, and now you're ready to mount the hood. And so this would be similar if you need to service your slide. You want to take these 4 screws out, slide that off. It will index. You see the little ledge here will index right onto that right there, and then the screws are all countersunk into there. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna set that up and we're gonna put these on. And really it's just put the screws in and follow the instructions. You got the longest screw. There's only 2 of these in the kit. Goes in the front. The shorter ones go in the back. So short, short, long, both sides. These 2 are the shorter ones, long one up front. And that long one goes into that plate up front. So if that plate had rotated because you torqued down the other screw, then make sure that it's rotated back so you're catching those threads. And let's just do this real quick. Boom, boom. I actually don't want to do this because I want to show you guys some setups with different slides, because this is just putting screws in and it's not rocket science. So torque those down again, 25, but we're going to back it out. It is a 5/64, same as the key that comes in your Raider, Allen key. I'm gonna back it out so I can show you different a fitment of different things. So take that off, and we're gonna take the slide off, and we're gonna put on a full-size slide. We have one right here with a can on it. Let me know what you think of this OD Green FDE setup. Kind of love it. We do have our this prototype also on the back, but we're looking at the front charging handle, the ripstick right now. And so you got your slide on, and you would go ahead and you would mount these. Boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna tighten these down, just finger tight for demonstration, because I'm going to switch out even more stuff. So boom. And if I didn't already say it, because I've recorded this video 18 times, the longer screw, there's only 2 of them, go in the front. The other 2 holes are the shorter screws. Fly away. Boom, boom, boom. So there we are. We've got a can on it, full-size slide, and we have a ripstick. So I want to show you that right now. This is how your ripstick, how much it would stick out off of the slide. If I was to put a measurement on that, I would probably say a little over 1/4 of an inch, between 1/4 and 1/2. It's not a lot. I've prototyped longer ones, and it just feels really bad going so much wider. But that does not mean we won't do it. We are working on a rear plate and a rear folding and a folding for the front instead of making that longer. So it's totally doable, but again, you do not want to slowly let go like that. You'll pinch your finger. My finger is thoroughly pinched right there. You want to let go and let it go, send it home on its own. So it's usable. You can rack it off of trees, tables, edges, pants, whatever, but it is not the biggest purchase you can get because of the hood. And that's why we're developing multiple versions of the rear plate. And we do have an option of this hood without a cutout for a ripstick, so that you get more M-lock. So that is that. Let's go ahead and show you what an F10 looks like on here. Boom, and that's the F10 on a compact slide. Not really usable by any means. So I do not recommend F10s if you're wanting to run the Ford Halo. If it is on a full-size slide, does not gonna work. Subcompact, it's gonna be a little farther back, it might be ideal, or the only way to run it, but then you will be losing any can support, and the comp will just be blasting straight up, which I don't think would be that big of a deal, but that is how it would or wouldn't function on a compact slide. All right, guys, that's been the install features and kind of first look. If you have any questions that are keeping you from buying, check the product page out, drop the questions here, and we'll try to get that content distributed on the product page and answer you here. We're going to try to get all the information compiled and ready so that you can make an educated decision on which Ford Halo you would like to be purchasing, which aftermarket accessories will work. And again, we won't have answers for all of those. We don't have every aftermarket accessory, but it is M-LOK and 1913. And so other than a few little bit of the tolerance stacking and getting that M-LOK nut to twist, you shouldn't have any issues. It is totally possible. It's just a very close fit. But yeah, we got pick rail attached on this side, laser on top, and a button. So maybe put a light over here on the pick rail or directly into the M-LOK and you're golden. So thanks, guys. Drop your comments, and thank you. Thank you so much.